Hey guys, it's Jeff with Student of Money. Today we're going to talk about leverage. Now you're probably familiar with leverage when we use it in real estate to get a mortgage. But today we're going to talk about leverage and how to maximize it to your advantage when doing business deals. The Business Dictionary defines leverage as the ability to influence a system or an environment in a way that multiplies the outcome of one's efforts. Now the key word here is influence, and what we want to do is how to use influence to your advantage. Where we want to look at leverage is in negotiations. We use negotiations when we buy and sell properties, when we enter into a contract, or when we're in a dispute with another party. We have to ask ourselves, are we in a strong position or in a weak position? If we're in a strong position, then we get to dictate the terms to that other party. If we're in a weak position, then unfortunately we're stuck where we're going to have to accept an unfavorable terms. So for example, if there's a tenant and I'm their landlord and they want to break their lease, we have a lease and it's a contract that they're obligated to uphold. So that puts us in a very strong position in that situation. A lot of times when you're buying real estate, they're going to talk about if it's a buyer's market or a seller's market. If it's a buyer's market, then that means prices are typically lower, and that's to your advantage. Okay, you're in a stronger position to offer a lower price. If it's a seller's market, then typically prices are going to be higher. And the buyer is not as strong of a position and often will have to end up paying more money. In a foreclosure, if I'm going to go look at a foreclosure property, as a buyer, I'm in a lot better situation to buy a property at a much lower because it's a motivated seller. Either the bank or the person that's being foreclosed on is motivated to make a deal. And if I come in there, I'm in a very strong position and very good negotiations. So again, those are examples of when you're weak and strong positions. One of the ways I like to use leverage is when I'm finding new opportunities to invest. What I call leveraging my unfair advantage. I'm always looking for an angle or an advantage to use in negotiating to strengthen my position. Such as if I buy a property with all cash or no contingencies. Those are very strong ways to leverage an opportunity that's going to make my opportunity or my offer more appealing to a seller. Also, if I have insider knowledge to a purchase on a property, or maybe a property that isn't for sale, but I can talk directly to the owner and purchase it directly from him before they even list it for sale. Again, that's an insider knowledge, and that gives me leverage ahead of everybody else to take advantage of an opportunity. If I control part of the situation or conditions on a sale that's not commonly known to other people. For example, we have an apartment complex that is right next to a commercial property. That commercial property, even though it's zoned commercial, it's an empty piece of real estate, and they were trying to sell it as a commercial property. The problem is they have an easement to gain access to that property, but that easement is only for residential use. So their easement was with me. So in a way, I kind of controlled that property. If I put an offer in on that, I could use that control over that easement to basically lock up that property and say, even though it's zoned commercial, there's no way in or out of that property except for through my property, and that easement has a restriction that says it can only be used for residential use. So for me to purchase that property, even though I don't own it, I have some control or say over that property, and I can use that as leverage to purchase that property with better reasonable terms and at a better price for me. So we've talked about another way to use leverage. Leveraging just isn't financial on getting a mortgage or leveraging money to make a deal. It's also looking for that unfair advantage that you might have in a deal that puts you in a stronger position as opposed to a weaker position. So we're going to talk about more subjects like this. If you like this video, please subscribe below, press the like and share it, and I'll talk to you soon.